Hi, everybody. This is Cole Goodman here, your host of The Cedar Room. We have an awesome show coming up for you. We have the chair of the Dauphin County Democratic Party, Rajette Harris, and she's coming to the Cedar Roundtable to talk about Black Lives Matter and race relations in the country, her experience being the only Black chair in Pennsylvania, and where does the Democratic Party go from here? Are there fractures in the party? Will that hurt or help Joe Biden? We're going to talk about it all here at the Cedar Roundtable. So grab a drink, sit back, and join the conversation with us. I want to ask you, what, and this is something that obviously I can't speak on, and I want to get your view on it. What is it and has it been like being a Black woman navigating the waters in politics and getting to the position that you're at now? What kind of obstacles have you faced? What kind of pros have you had? And I just really would love your perspective on that.
The biggest issue I come across being a Black woman in politics is people want you to be seen, but they don't really want to hear you.
Say that again.
People want you to be seen, but they don't want to hear you. One thing that Tom Perez said at the DNC convention I agree with is that he said, you're either at the table making decisions or you're on the menu. And as a Black woman, our issues are always on the menu, but there's never anyone at the table to address those issues. And as I mentioned in the first segment, you know, men of color aren't recruited and supported, let alone Black women and other women of color. Because, you know, I'm dealing not just with being Black, but the sexism of also being a woman. So, you know, you're discouraged a lot. You know, as I mentioned, running for chair, people already kind of put you in a box. Well, you can only win in a Black area, community. You can't win this seat. So we're not giving the resources needed to win. I look at our candidates as a county chair, and it amazes me the money that floods in for our white male candidates. Now, some of them are some great candidates. I have nothing against them personally, but imagine if Black women and who are the backbone of the Democrat Party. I mean, Joe Biden is the nominee because of Black women. Pretty much. But imagine if those type of resources were put behind a qualified Black woman or women of color for office, what we could do.
Well, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking, trying to span the state. We have no Black women as congresspeople in Pennsylvania.
That's correct.
Can't think of one.
No, Dwight Evans is the only Black congressman we have.
And that is sad. That is a sad testament. And what... let me push back.
Well, the party doesn't support us. It's not that Black women don't run, but you just don't get the support because, again, you're put into a box as to whether or not you can win or not.
Well, let me just push back a little. What if you had someone say, you know, I live in South Central PA, I live in Dauphin County. I have not seen a plethora of Black women running for these offices. What would you say to someone who says, well, if I'm not saying it's right, but if they're not stepping up, then how can you complain about them not being supported?
What do you mean?
So I'm charting back in Dauphin County.
Okay.
Of Black female candidates, the last one I can remember is Shivania Corbin Johnson. And you can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just not recalling. So... for someone.
Well, but it's not just Congress. Look at Tracy Fountain, who was a Black woman that ran for, and our county party endorsed her. You had Doreen Woodruff for a statewide court position. So you have had Black individuals, Black women run for offices. But as a whole, it's harder to get the endorsement from political parties.
Okay. Gotcha.
Because a lot of people don't believe you can win outside of certain areas. And without that endorsement, you don't get the resources from the parties.
Right.
Not only that, you have to take polling into consideration. A lot of candidates are chosen, and you're politically involved, you know this. A lot of candidates are chosen before the election even takes place. So the parties are already getting behind whom their deemed candidate's going to be. Most of the time, they aren't black. You know, we all act like we love former President Barack Obama now, but let's talk about the reality of that situation.
Yeah.
And because I was actually one of an early supporter of his, how could you support him? This country's never going to elect a Barack Hussein Obama. He should wait his turn. He's too young.
And going up against the Clinton machine.
Yes, he had to beat the Clinton machine. Plus, he had to beat the unions. He had to beat the political party. I mean, everyone loves him now, but he had to outsmart the establishment to make it. I love to use him as an example because regardless of his policies, whether or not you thought he was a good president or not, you have to give him respect that he found a path to get there. Right. And when you're a person of color, that's what you have to do. You have to outsmart the establishment and sometimes the party, and you have to find your own path to get there.
And that's a damn shame.
That's life, period, though. That's not just politics. Yeah. That's business. That's wherever you go. You have to find your own path
right,
to get there,
right,
because it's just different for us. You have to be 2-3 times as good.